I'm a New York best-selling author, and I have two New York bestseller books right now at my disposal. But the story I'm about to share with you is not about my books. It's about something that really could have ended my life and my career at the same time. I'm not going to get too much into the details, and I'll try to make this short. But this happened about a year ago. I had just got done writing my adult novel. It's a really explicit novel, which I'm not going to get into that. But point is though, it was a huge seller among women, and women loved this novel. I had a meet and greet in New York to meet some of my fans as I was signing autographs and signing books and giving away free copies of my books. That's when I came across a woman named Juliet. Juliet was a really beautiful woman. She had curly brown hair, and she had a really beautiful smile. Each time she smiled, she had dimples, and they really complimented her face. Hello, Mark. My name is Juliet, and I'm really a huge fan of your novel. Um, wow, I'm so starstruck. I'm a little nervous. Hi, and may I have a signed copy of your book? Juliet, you say? Okay, I'll give you a signed copy of my book. But you know, you're a really nice looking woman. Tell you what, not only will I give you a signed copy of my book, I even put my number in there for you. But don't tell no one, because you're gonna have a bunch of women that's gonna wanna try to fight you, I said with a sleazy grin. But looking back on that, I really wish I had never gave her my number. I really wish I could have just kept it business and kept it professional and treated her like I treated my other fans, which were mostly women. See, the thing about me is that even before being the famous author I always had a history of meeting women at the bar and bringing them back to my house for, let's just say, a little fun, if you know what I mean. But I think this is what really stopped all that for me. This one really came and bit me in my ass. This is what happened. Soon after I gave her my number, I remember I was done with the meet and greet. I went home, and right away, this was red flag number one. I saw dozens of missed phone calls, which was I'm assuming it was Juliet. I didn't put her name in my contacts yet. And I saw text messages from Juliet. Some of them are really kind of vulgar, which I'm not going to say too much on here, but this is some of the texts I received from her. Text number one. Hello, Mark. This is Juliet. Please call me back whenever you get a chance. I miss seeing you. I hope maybe invite me out for a coffee or something. Bye. Text number two. Hey, Mark. It's Juliet again. I noticed that you haven't texted me back. I know you're a pretty busy author. Just want to make sure you're not too busy with the other women. LOL. Call me. Bye. Those were some of the text messages I received from Juliet. Some of them were way more explicit, which I'm not gonna repeat on here, and some of them were just weird. I started to pick up a bad vibe from this Juliet person, so I decided to send her a text back. Hey Juliet, this is Mark. Listen, I think you're a really nice woman and everything, but maybe this interaction should have never had happened. I blame myself for this, and I should have never really gave you my number. I apologize, but if you kindly could, maybe disregard my number, I apologize. I should have never led you on like that. Unfortunately, I'm a very busy man, and my time doesn't allow me to date. After sending Juliet that message, she replied back with a sad emoji and a thumbs up. I felt kind of bad doing that to her, but honestly, she was a bit too needy for my comfort, and honestly, I had a very busy life with, promoting my two novels and going on multiple interviews, and plus, I was in the process of working on my third novel, which was about 50% done. Anyway, 6 months later, I was done with that third novel, and just like my other two novels, this one also became a New York bestseller. But with the difference with this one versus the other two, this one was more bigger. This one sold about 15 million copies in its first week. I was feeling a success from that one. I was really happy. All the hard work I put into becoming a novel artist, and it finally paid off. I was really excited. Then I decided to do another meet and greet. This time, it was in Houston, Texas. As I was doing my meet and greet, I came upon a woman that was very familiar. I recognized her. It was Juliet. But this time she was wearing glasses and her hair was black. If I didn't know any better, I think she was disguising herself. She came up to me, and this is what she said. "Hey Mark, you remember me? I know I look different, but I'm dressed up just like your character from your latest novel, with the black hair and the glasses." Honestly, seeing Juliet again didn't give me the greatest feelings ever. Matter of fact, I started to have this sinking feeling. I didn't really think much of it. She probably still is a fan of my work, and I was just hoping that she didn't take my rejection too hard. So I kindly smiled and I said to her, "Hey, Juliet, how you doing? Came here to get a book?" "What are you talking about, Mark? Is that how you talk to your wife?" Wait, huh? What are you talking about?" I asked her in a confused tone as her question really caught me by surprise. "You heard me. I said your wife. Don't you love me? Mark, come on. We got married. What are you talking? What are you doing? You didn't tell me anything about this. I'm your wife. I love you." As Juliet began to talk louder, I noticed a lot of people were staring at her and at me. I was so confused about what was happening here. What made Juliet think that she was my wife? This was weird. I stayed calm and I told her, "Listen, Juliet, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you're confused or anything, but you're not my wife. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna get someone to escort you out because honestly, you're making everyone here kind of." I woke up feeling groggy. I looked around and that's when I realized I was in the hospital. I had wires and tubes connected to me and everything was blurry for a moment. I was dazed out and I couldn't remember who or what I was at first. But after about an hour, when the doctors and nurses came in, it started to come to and I started to realize what happened. Of course, it took the cops to tell me what happened, and then once they did, the memory of what happened at that meet and greet came flooding back into my mind. I remember, and I was talking to Juliet because she somehow thinks that she was my wife, and as I was trying to plead with her, she quickly grabbed the gun out of her shirt and she shot me twice. That's when everything went black. The doctors told me that she had shot me in 2 fatal areas, but they were able to save me. But they did told me that during operation, my heart stopped twice and they thought they were going to lose me. When they told me that, chills ran down my body. I almost came close to death. Luckily, I made a full recovery. And after the events what happened, I don't know if I can ever do meet and greets again. There's no telling what kind of person I may run into. As for Juliet, unfortunately, she was sent to a mental hospital, not jail. Her lawyers used a insane plea to get her into the mental health hospital. But I'm forever scarred by what she done, and I'm gonna be very careful about who I meet and greet if I ever do meet and greets again. And if I do, I'm never gonna give out my number to anyone. I really feel like if I hadn't gave Juliet my number, maybe this wouldn't have happened. But I don't know. But here's one more thing I'd like to point out too. The officers told me they had evidence that supports that Juliet was stalking me. She knew where I live, she knew my family's name, she knew everything about me. and that made me even more scared and freaked out. I decided to see if I could put a restraining order against her, because even if she does happen to get out, I don't want her near me at all.